Picture, for a moment, a night sky illuminated not by celestial bodies, but by a constellation of strung lanterns, glowing in warm amber and vibrant neon, hanging like luminous tapestries over narrow, ancient streets. The air hangs heavy, yet not with humidity. It is saturated with the aroma of roasted nuts, caramelized sugar, and the smoky drift of incense. Close your eyes and listen. Listen closely. Do you hear it? It begins as a low, guttural hum, a collective vibration of thousands of voices, before rising into a rhythmic, thundering beat of drums and tambourines that seems to align with the beating of your own heart. You are not just standing in a city. You are standing inside a living, breathing moment of history. You are in the heart of old Cairo, and the energy around you is electric, chaotic, and utterly mesmerizing. This is not a solemn prayer service, nor is it merely a street party. It is a collision of the sacred and the sweet, a place where devotion tastes like sugar and faith is expressed through joy. Welcome to a world where dolls are made of candy, where silence is replaced by ecstatic chanting, and where an entire nation throws a birthday party for the most revered figure in their history. We are about to step into the crowd, to lose ourselves in the swirl of colors and sounds. Welcome to Culture Journey. Today, we are traveling to Egypt to experience the magic, the mystery, and the overwhelming sweetness of Moulid Al-Nabi. But what lies at the heart of this spectacle? Moulid Al-Nabi translates literally to the birth of the Prophet. It is the annual commemoration of the birth of the Prophet Muhammad. While this day is observed by Muslims around the world, from Indonesia to Morocco, nowhere celebrates it quite like Egypt. Here, the Moulid is not just a date on the calendar. It is a season. It is a cultural phenomenon that transcends simple religious observance to become a defining thread in the fabric of Egyptian identity. To understand the Moulid in Egypt, you must understand that Egyptians have a profound love for festivities. History tells us that when the Fatimid dynasty ruled Egypt over 1,000 years ago, they realized that the way to the Egyptian heart was through celebration and food. They established grand festivals, and the Prophet's birthday became the zenith of them all. This event centers primarily around the majestic Al-Hussein Mosque and the Sayyida Zeinab district in Cairo, ancient neighborhoods that hold the spiritual DNA of the city. But why does this specific festival matter so much? It represents a moment of pause in the chaotic hustle of modern Egyptian life. It is a rare moment where societal barriers dissolve and strangers become kin. It is a celebration of love, pure, unconditional love for the Prophet, manifested in a way that is distinctly, undeniably Egyptian. It is loud, it is colorful, and it is deeply moving. As we peel back the layers of this festival, we will see how it binds a community together through sugar, song, and spirit. Let's begin our journey not in the mosques, but in the marketplaces. If you walk through the streets of Cairo in the weeks leading up to the Moulid, you will notice a transformation. Wooden stalls, decorated with colorful paper and bright lights, pop up on every corner. And inside these stalls sits something whimsical, something you won't see anywhere else in the Muslim world. Statues made entirely of sugar. Enter the world of Halawat el-Moulid, the sweets of the birthday. But we aren't just talking about candy bars. We are talking about the Arousa, the bride, and the Hosan, the horse. The Arousa is a sugar doll, traditionally shaped like a bride with her hands on her waist, adorned with paper fans and colorful foil, looking like a princess from a bygone era. Beside her stands the Hosan, a gallant sugar horse with a rider, sword raised high. These aren't just treats. They are icons. Stop and think for a second. Have you ever seen a religious festival where the main symbol is a sugar doll? It's fascinating, isn't it? Local legend says this tradition dates back to the Fatimid ruler, Al-Hakim. It is said that he went out to celebrate his victory with his wife, who was dressed in white, looking like a bride. The candy makers captured that image in sugar, and it stuck for 1,000 years. If you were here, which one would you buy? The elegant bride or the warrior horse? These sweets are vibrant, almost neon in color, pinks, yellows, and bright whites. Families flock to these stalls in droves. Buying these sweets is mandatory. You cannot let the Moulid pass without bringing a box of Halawat home. It is a gift for children, a peace offering for neighbors, and a treat for yourself. The crunch of the hard sugar, the stickiness on your fingers, it is the tactile memory of childhood for millions of Egyptians. It teaches them from a young age that faith is sweet, that religion can be joyful, and that remembering the Prophet is associated with the delight of a sugar rush. As the sun sets and the sugar stalls glow under the streetlights, the atmosphere shifts. We move from the material joy of sweets to the spiritual intensity of the Sufi tariqas. Sufism is the mystical dimension of Islam, focusing on the inward search for God and a deep, poetic love for the Prophet. Egypt is the heartbeat of Sufism in the Arab world, and the Moulid is their grandest stage. Drifting closer to the Al-Hussein Mosque, the crowds thicken into a sea of bodies. You begin to see groups of men walking in processions, carrying massive green banners embroidered with gold calligraphy. They are wearing different colored turbans and robes, green, white, black, red, each color representing a different Sufi order or path. They play drums, large and booming, and blow into reed flutes that produce a high, piercing sound that seems to cut straight to the soul. This is the zikr. The word means remembrance. In the open squares, tents are set up. Inside, men stand in long rows or large circles. They hold hands or link arms, swaying rhythmically back and forth, left, right, left, left. The movement is hypnotic. They chant the names of God or lines of poetry praising the Prophet. Allah, Allah, Allah. The tempo increases, the breathing becomes heavier, synchronized with the movement. The goal is to reach a state of fana, an extinction of the self, where the individual ego disappears, and only the presence of the divine remains. It is an intense sight to behold. Some visitors describe feeling a vibration in the ground itself. Have you ever been in a crowd so unified that they seem to move as a single organism? That is the energy here. It's not chaotic. It's a synchronized heartbeat of thousands of people. You will see the munshidin, the singers. These are the virtuosos of the Sufi world. A famous munshid can draw thousands of listeners. Their voices are powerful, capable of switching from a deep, rumbling low note to a soaring, crying high note that brings grown men to tears. They sing of longing, of the pain of separation from the beloved Prophet, and the joy of his existence. The listeners don't just applaud. They cry out. They weep. They throw their hands in the air in spiritual ecstasy. It is raw emotion, unfiltered and beautiful. We cannot talk about an Egyptian celebration without talking about karam, generosity. The Moulid is perhaps the greatest display of public charity in the country. As you weave through the alleys of old Cairo, you will encounter long tables set up right in the middle of the street. Cauldrons the size of bathtubs are bubbling with fada, a traditional dish of rice, bread, tomato sauce, and meat. This transcends the concept of a mere soup kitchen, for it is not simply charity for the poor. It is an open invitation to everyone. If you attempt to walk past, you will likely be intercepted, gently but firmly, and ushered to a seat. Tafadal, please come in, they will insist. Rich or poor, tourist or local, at these tables social hierarchy evaporates. Tonight, in the true spirit of the Prophet, whose generosity was boundless, no one is permitted to go hungry. Did you know that many of the people organizing these feasts save money all year round just for this night? A shopkeeper might live modestly for 11 months, just to spend his savings feeding strangers during the Moulid. They believe this brings barakah, a divine blessing that multiplies their wealth and health. It's a beautiful economic paradox. The more you give away, the richer you feel. The smell of boiling meat, garlic, and vinegar wafts through the air, mixing with the incense. The sound of spoons hitting metal plates creates a chaotic dinner music. It is a reminder that community is built over broken bread. In a world that often emphasizes individualism, the Moulid forces you to sit shoulder to shoulder with a stranger and share a meal. Now let's step back from the spiritual tents and look at the streets themselves. The Moulid is also a carnival. It is a playground for the senses. Alongside the praying Sufis, you have pop-up amusement parks. Rickety Ferris wheels spin dizzyingly fast, powered by loud generators. Children run around with plastic swords and laser pointers. Vendors sell helium balloons shaped like cartoon characters. There are shooting games, strength testers, and magicians. The noise level is deafening. You have the Sufi chanting on one side, modern Egyptian pop music blasting from a cafe on the other, the roar of the generators, the shouting of vendors hawking their toys, and the laughter of children. For a Western observer, this might seem contradictory. How can a holy night look so much like a circus? But for the Egyptian mindset, there is no contradiction. Joy is a form of worship. Making a child smile is an act of faith. The noise, the lights, the chaos, it is all a celebration of life. And since the prophet is seen as the mercy to the worlds, celebrating his life means celebrating everything that makes life vibrant. This mixture of the sacred and the profane is rare in many cultures. Usually, church or temple is quiet and the party is outside. Here, the party and the prayer are happening in the same square foot of space. How would you feel in this environment? Overwhelmed or energized? I think once you let go of the need for quiet, you find a strange peace in the noise. We must also mention the lights. Egyptians love neon. Strings of lights are draped across entire buildings, creating tunnels of illumination. In the district of Al-Hussein, the mosque itself glows like a beacon. The sheer visual spectacle is designed to dazzle, to make the night feel like day, symbolizing the light that the prophet brought into the world. As we navigate through the 21st century, the Moulid has had to adapt, yet it remains stubbornly traditional. While young people might now take selfies with the sugar dolls to post on Instagram or TikTok, the core of the festival remains unchanged. There is a timeless quality to the faces you see. The old man with the sun-weathered face weeping as he listens to a poem, the young father lifting his daughter on his shoulders so she can see the procession, the woman handing out cups of tea to strangers. These are scenes that have played out in Cairo for centuries. However, the modern world does intrude. Security is tighter now. The crowds are managed more strictly. But the spirit is untamable. Even amidst the economic hardships that Egypt sometimes faces, the Moulid remains non-negotiable. People will cut back on other things, but they will not cut back on the sugar dolls or the charity meals. It is a testament to the resilience of the Egyptian spirit. They find joy even in difficult times. They find a reason to dance, to sing, and to give, proving that culture is not just what is written in history books, it is what is practiced on the street, alive and kicking. As the night deepens and the first light of dawn threatens to break over the minarets of Cairo, the energy of the Moulid begins to soften. The drums slow down. The sugar in the stalls has been sold. The huge pots of food are scraped clean. We have walked through the sticky, sweet alleys of the marketplace. We have stood in the center of the vibrating Sufi circles. We have sat at the tables of strangers and been treated like family. What we have witnessed is more than just a birthday party. We have witnessed a civilization's capacity for love. The Moulid Al-Nabi in Egypt teaches us something profound about the human experience. It teaches us that faith does not always have to be solemn and silent. It can be loud, it can be sweet, and it can be incredibly joyful. It reminds us that at the core of devotion is a desire to connect, not just with the divine, but with the people around us. The sugar dolls will inevitably dissolve, the lights will be taken down, and the banners rolled up. But the feeling of the Moulid, that lingering sense of warmth, generosity, and community, stays in the hearts of the people long after the streets return to normal. Moulid Al-Nabi is a mirror reflecting the soul of Egypt, ancient, chaotic, hospitable, and endlessly sweet. Thank you for walking these vibrant streets with us today. It has been a journey for the senses, and I hope you could almost taste the sugar and hear the drums through your screen. If this journey into the heart of Egypt sparked your curiosity, please give this video a like. And I have a question for you. What is a festival in your own culture that combines food, faith, and community in a unique way? Tell us your stories in the comments below. We love reading them. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. There are thousands of cultures out there, thousands of stories waiting to be told. And here at Culture Journey, we are just getting started. Until the next adventure, keep exploring and keep your heart open to the world. See you in the next video.